Well, I wasn't at all surprised that Pete was selected for this award. He knows more economics than a lot of professors of economics with PhDs. I think Pete has been more successful than anyone else at drawing attention to the problem of national saving, the problem of budget deficits and the long-run concerns of the national debt. He understands that it slows our growth. He understands that it creates international risks for us. And so he has tried to educate the public about that issue. I think the reason that Pete is getting this award is that he is viewed as one of the real wise men about economic policy. Since his early days in the White House dealing with international economics to his more recent continued pressure on these issues of savings and investment.
Pete, all his life, has been concerned about the nature of the American economy, the future of the global economy. I think he is an outstanding choice for this award. His contribution has been that he really made it conventional to think that economic and foreign policy measures in many respects should be merged and should be looked at from the same, but in the same basic strategy. Today that may be taken for granted, but when he worked at the White House, it was a big innovation. Pete is a multidimensional person. In that respect, he's a Renaissance figure. There's only one Pete Peterson.
It's well-deserved. Pete's contributed an enormous amount to the economic dialogue in our country. Pete sees economics in the big picture of the life of nations' role in the world, of their power, of their obligations to the future. America's provided great opportunity to Pete, and Pete wants to be sure that America provides similar opportunity to all of the children alive today. And that means focusing on the long run. That means focusing on the debts we're leaving, the burdens we're placing on the next generation. There's a real moral sensibility to his concerns.
Well, I think Pete's, in some ways, his singular contribution to how you think about public policy is the focus he's brought to trying to get the country to think about our long-term challenges and how we finance the safety net for the poor and the elderly. And this is a question for the ages. We're going through a period as a country where Americans have had this deep loss of faith in the capacity of government to do things to make a practical difference in how strong we are as a country, how Americans live. And in that context, at times like this, it's really important you have people in business or in finance who are able to try to bring a credible source of pressure and vision and challenge to our political leaders. I think that he signifies the best of that strand in the American political tradition.
Here's what I think about Pete, and I've thought it since the first time I met him a zillion years ago when we were children. I think there is a reason that in ancient times, the people who preserved the narrative of a culture were the most revered. Because he not only cares about the facts, but he cares about what is central to the soul of a culture. And you always see him trying to remind people that the decisions we make are not just decisions about strategy, they're decisions about identity. I think some of this comes out of that 24-hour cafe in Nebraska with his Greek family and their sense of purposefulness and building. And you still see some of that in him. You see a conviction that even as we're having a great time in life, being alive, that you have to remember the fire that keeps us alive.